Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Sometimes I wait a second so I can make sure the timer starts on my videos. I am here with a book review for Are We There Yet by Kathleen West. I am making the video maybe 3 weeks or so before the release date, which is scheduled for March 16th. So that's the date that you'll see this review go up on my channel. And I am doing this review as a blog blitz for the publisher Berkley. And I want to, start this video by saying that as a book reviewer, okay, I have a cat who might get in the way. As a book reviewer, I wasn't always getting Berkley publisher books from NetGalley. They're not very keen on some bloggers or reviewers. So it was a huge accomplishment for me to be able to get Berkley titles, and now to be included in their blog blitzes is a real privilege. And the first thing that I have to say about this book is I was so drawn to the cover that when I saw the cover of this book on NetGalley, I requested it before I was invited to join in on the blog blitz. So I know you cannot judge a book by the cover, but I will say that this cover was just very, very pretty to me. Very, very striking, I should say. In any event, we have the story of several mothers, three in particular, Alice Sullivan and her friends Meredith and Nadia. They're parents of preteens. I think their kids are 12 years old, and they have been friends since their children were in kindergarten. But despite the fact that they've known each other for several years, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing what my cat's knocking off on my table. Their relationships are a little bit rocky, especially when Alice has been under this, I guess we'll say, general idea that her son Teddy was a cut above the rest. Like she knew, or she felt that Nadia's son Donovan was the bad boy, or that Meredith's daughter Sadie was trouble, but her son Teddy was, cream of the crop, so to speak. Well, as the story starts to roll, Alice is going to a parent-teacher conference, and she gets very upset when she discovers that her daughter Adrian, and I believe Adrian was about 8, maybe 3rd grade or so. Her daughter has been failing reading, and Alice is under the gun. She has an appointment that she scheduled right after the conference, and then the conference before hers was running late. So she was already on edge, and now when the daughter's teacher tells her that her daughter is failing reading, and then she even says to Alice, well, we do have, I forgot what it's called, but it's some kind of a portal between parents and teachers so that the parents can always know any progress, any notes, any concerns. But Alice kind of has been a little negligent when it comes to paying attention to that. So that kind of sets Alice off. And then while she's trying to talk to this teacher, she's getting a number of texts, bang, bang, bang. And she glances at the text and shuts it off and tries to talk to the teacher. And she glances at another text, shuts it off, looks back at the teacher. And I think by the time the third text came in, she realized, I've got to go. And what is going on with Alice? She's dealing with information about her son Teddy that is very disturbing. Something just happened at Teddy's school. Again, these kids are about 12, so Teddy's a preteen, and now Alice has to rush over to the school to see what Teddy is up to. Now, I don't know if I'll tell you what Teddy did. I probably won't, but at this point, Alice discovers that Teddy is a class or the class bully. The assistant principal Alice rushes over to Teddy's school, and the assistant principal starts to tell her a few things that Teddy has done, including his most recent transgression, which means that he was suspended. I won't say expelled, but suspended for about a week or so. And I think it was soccer. He wouldn't be able to play soccer while he was under suspension. So Alice is very concerned. She's like, this can't be my boy. My boy wouldn't do these things. But, kids will be kids, so to speak. So this starts to shake Alice's relationship with her friends, Nadia and Meredith. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, this cat wants a lot of attention. He's been in here for a good hour now, and he's been all over me, making it really hard for me to type up my reviews this morning. Anyway, then we start to learn. We don't learn so much about Nadia's son, Donovan, but we do get a lot of information about Meredith's daughter, Sadie. And she played a role in kind of what was going on with Teddy and the boy that was bullied. And we get into that as the story continues to develop. But there's one thing that affected, or I won't say affected, but kind of aided the children and some of the trouble that they were getting into, and that was social media. All of these kids got cell phones, I think, when they got into 7th grade. And the parents were pretty responsible, like using a timer to shut the cell phone off, say at 9 p.m., reading through the kids' search history and so forth. But children, adolescents, are very, very smart when it comes to technology. So, inasmuch as these parents thought that they were protecting their children, they fell far short because the kids had a way around the parents snooping into what they were up to. Now, oh goodness, there goes my coffee. Let me move it. I'm sorry, got an annoying cat. Let me tell you, I got to about maybe 30 or 40% in this book, and I kind of got annoyed. I really did, because I'm a mother of 6. Their ages 24 to 35, 36. I don't know. Anyway, and then I have 9 grandchildren. And I didn't go through any of this with any of my children. And I don't see my grandchildren's parents going through this with their kids, as far as the precocious and impulsive nature of these preteens. I can kind of see some of these actions if they were 15, 16, but we're talking 12-year-olds. So that kind of threw me off of the story for a bit, and it kind of, I'm sorry, just cat. It kind of made me wary that I was going to have difficulty enjoying the rest of the book, because I was looking at it through my eyes as a parent. So I had to take myself out of the scenario and inject myself into the minds of the characters, which is of course what we need to do anyway. So I had to kind of inject myself into their minds and see what they were actually dealing with each of their children. Now, while all of this is going on for Alice, dealing with Teddy and dealing with her daughter Adrian, and the fact that her husband is a lawyer and is kind of, I think he's working, my back is killing me, he's working out of state, and so Alice is kind of on her own trying to deal with this. Well, her mother Evelyn is, and I don't know if I said this, but there are 6 points of view in this book. I'm not going to know, I probably can't say them all, but Alice, Nadia, Meredith, Evelyn, which is Alice's mother, and a couple other characters all have their own chapters in this book. So as this book is being developed, we see something going on with Alice's mother, Evelyn. And there's a situation that Evelyn is dealing with that could very well derail the close relationship she has with Alice. So all while Alice is dealing with Teddy and his problems and how it affects his schooling and his education and anything more that she's trying to deal with him, now her mother has a situation that comes to the forefront. And I love how that was woven into the story. And it kind of made it a multi-generational story in that respect, because Evelyn's story was very important and it would affect Alice and her family in the long run. So I kind of like that. I like the narration. Actually, when I glanced at the table of contents before I started the book, and I saw the 6 different characters who had a voice, I thought, oh boy, how is this going to work? But let me tell you, it worked really, really well. It was very, very much on point. I love that all these characters had their own voice, especially when it came to tying in the relationships that Alice had with her friends, with her mother, with the situation her mother was dealing with. So I think that Kathleen West did a great job with this book. Like I said, I'm going to admit that at that 30% point in the book, me as a mother kind of felt a little bit thrown off, but the story completely redeemed itself. I'm so glad I finished it, and that's what it is. Kathleen West, Are We There Yet? My first book by her, and I want to see what else she has to offer in the future. So I hope you check this book out. Don't go into it with a prejudice as a parent like I did. Just go into it as a reader who wants to read a good story. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.